everybody, welcome back, and today, I'm angry. If you have been playing competitive Pokemon at all during this generation, Generation 9, you know of these two words, Fluttermane. Fluttermane is absolutely the most dominant Pokemon that has existed in basically every format since it was introduced in Regulation B or Series 2, you know, depending on how you count the things. The naming conventions have been kind of weird, which is a reason to be frustrated, but that's another video. Today, we are mad about Fluttermane. There's a lot of good reasons to be mad about Fluttermane, but before we get to that, I want to take care of some housekeeping, okay? I know, it's been more than a week since my last full-length video. I'm sorry, had to get through some stuff. We are through this stuff, and I have decided to make a change in the upload schedule, okay? From here on out, I think what I'm going to try to do is to put about 2 or 3 videos worth of effort into each video that comes out so that I can give you a better product for each video. And the reason that I want to do that is, well, I can't upload enough to keep up with all the other wonderful, amazing content creators out there, okay? But what I can do is I can make sure that I'm giving you the best quality product that I can, when I can, and each video is going to be, like, better, okay? Maybe that makes you mad. If that makes you angry, let me know. This is a place to let it all out, okay? This is a safe space. Tell me down in the comments. But with that out of the way, let's get angry. Alright, so the first thing that makes me so mad about Fluttermane is kind of something that makes me mad about all of the Paradox Pokemon, and that is the stat distribution, okay? Most of the Paradox Pokemon, not all of them, you know, we have our Slitherwings and whatnot out there. Most of the Paradox Pokemon have the most min-maxed stats we have ever seen on a Pokemon, okay? There is not a single stat point that is wasted on this Pokemon, okay? We have 55 HP, 55 attack, 55 defense, 135 special attack, 135 special defense, and 135 speed. This is one of the fastest Pokemon that we have ever had viable in a format, okay? Now, yes, Zacian and Regieleki and Calyrex Shadow are all faster than Fluttermane, but Regieleki, like, aside, you know, Calyrex and Zacian are restricted Pokemon. You only see them in like 2 or 3 formats a generation, okay? And actually, in every generation before Sword and Shield, it was just 1 format a generation. This Pokemon is 135 base speed. That makes it faster than pretty much every other viable Pokemon in the format, except for Iron Bundle. And we'll get to Iron Bundle in a second, don't you worry. All right, so 135 base speed. It's very fast. It's very hard to outspeed. It will outspeed some Pokemon that are using a Choice Scarf, but you can still outspeed with Choice Scarf. You know, that's fine. 135 special attack is immense. That is a very large special attack stat. If I look at the list of all Pokemon listed out by their special attack stat, it is very, very close to the top. It would be, in fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the 8th highest special attack currently available in the game, not including restricted Pokemon, but even I think the restricted Pokemon are probably not that crazy. Let me look it up here really quick so that I can give you an accurate reading here. Hold on. Alright, it's not as close to the top, but it's still pretty darn close to the top. Like it's just like restricted Pokemons from Deoxys to Reshiram, and then just the same 8 Pokemon. So it's like still top like 20 easily, which is kind of insane for a non-restricted Pokemon with this good of stats. Base stat total is 570. That is higher than most Pokemon that exist. I believe that every Paradox Pokemon has the same base stat total except for Iron Valiant and Roaring Moon, but Iron Valiant and Roaring Moon do not see as much play as Fluttermane. And let me tell you why, okay? We have 55 HP, 55 defense. But we have 135 special defense. Fluttermane's stats are so good that you can EV your Fluttermane to still take a super effective physical attack and still take KOs and do damage and be fast enough to do everything else it needs to do. That is insane. And that is helped by the next 2 points that we're going to talk about here, okay? The next one is its typing. Fluttermane's defensive typing is probably the second best defensive typing in the game. Second only to Steel Fairy and, like, I don't know, Ghost Fairy is really, really good, okay? You have only 2 weaknesses, that is to Ghost and to Steel, which are not all that common as offensive typings unless you're specifically running them to hit Fluttermane, which is what we've been seeing people do. And then on top of that, you have 3 immunities. You're immune to normal, you're immune to fighting, and you're immune to dragon, which, I mean, fighting coverage, just like random fighting coverage, is pretty common. Random normal type coverage is pretty common. Random dragon coverage isn't that common, but we were given a lot of dragon type Pokemon this generation that are good, and, you know, Fluttermane just kind of looks at them and laughs because it's a fairy type. You 4 times resist bug, which is pretty silly. Don't know why fairy and ghost both resist bug. They have no reason to. Is that it? Wait, hold on. Give me a second. I gotta look this up because I didn't prepare it for myself ahead of time. Oh yeah, your only resistance is 4 times to bug, but that means that you are neutral to every type that is not ghost or steel, which is just a 1 times weakness. You have 2 weaknesses, 3 immunities, 1 resistance, and every other type is neutral, which is pretty great, honestly. One thing that I like to tote is that you can, in fact, EV Fluttermane to eat a Surging Strikes. Just a neutral Surging Strikes, but an Adamant Surging Strikes, which I think should not be possible for a Pokemon with 55 HP and 55 defense, but, you know, that is what it is. The third thing that I think makes Fluttermane's stats really, really get out of control, okay, is Booster Energy. Booster Energy is probably my least favorite item introduced in a while. It is kind of a dumb item, okay? And yes, it works for every Paradox Pokemon, so every Pokemon with Photosynthesis, every Pokemon with Quark Drive, they can all use Booster Energy. I think it's just as stupid for most of them too. But basically what Booster Energy does is it gives you a free boost to your highest stat the first time you enter battle. If that's speed, you get a 1.5 times boost, and if that is any other stat, you get a 1.3 times boost. And on Fluttermane, most of the time, it's going to be either special attack or speed. So, you can still run enough speed to outspeed almost everything in the format. That doesn't take a whole lot of investment, I gotta be honest with you. To outspeed, like, Ogerpon, I think you only need to hit, like 180, and that might not even be, they might be less than that. And then you can literally just dump everything else into, like just enough into special attacks, you get the Booster Energy boost, which is 181, based on the, you know, the 180 number. And then you can dump everything else into your bulk, and you're fine. And you have, like, you know, natures to make that much, like, not that much investment because you still get a huge boost. And you can make Fluttermane very, very, very bulky and still have it hit very hard and still be really fast. And here's the other thing that I don't like about Booster Energy, okay? Max speed Fluttermane Booster Energy is basically the fastest Pokemon in the game. Yes, Iron Bundle is 1 speed faster, but we'll talk about Iron Bundle in a second, okay? I told you, we're going to get there. 205 times 1.5 means that you hit an effective speed stat of 307, which is stupid high. You are faster than Regieleki. You are faster than any Pokemon with a lower base speed than, I believe it's 85. What's Lilligant's base speed? 90. You are faster than any Pokemon with a base speed, basically, that is lower than 90. Alright, so you, basically, anything with a base speed that is lower than 88, you will outspeed even with Tailwind. And that does not apply for Iron Bundle, who will be faster and will still outspeed those Pokemon. But Fluttermane can outspeed any Pokemon. It basically has a Choice Scarf. A booster speed Fluttermane basically has a Choice Scarf, and that means that it is faster than any Pokemon that is based 87 or lower, even with a Tailwind. And on top of that, okay, let's get to the move pool. All right, Fluttermane's move pool is not super deep. All right, it's not so many like crazy moves, but it has everything it needs. Like I was looking at it, and like the only type that maybe it can't hit for weakness is like a fire type, or I guess like it can't hit for ground weakness is what I'm trying to get at. And you can run Terra Ground, Terra Blast, Fluttermane, and I have seen Terra Ground, Terra Blast, Fluttermane. But it has basically every move it could ever want, okay? You have your stab moves, you have Dazzling Gleam and Moonblast. Some Pokemon are not lucky enough to get a spread stab move and a single target stab move. You get Dazzling Gleam and Moonblast. You get Shadow Ball, which is a very good special stab move. There are a lot of Pokemon out there that are not lucky enough to get a stab move on both of their primary typings that is a good move. We're looking at, Gyarados, Salamence, stuff like that. Although I think Salamence gets dual wing beat now, so maybe that's not a thing anymore. You get all the type coverage in the world. Okay, you get Mystic Fire, you get Energy Ball, you get Thunder, you get Thunderbolt, you get normal coverage, you get like Hyper Voice, you get Psychic coverage, you get Psyshock, you get Stored Power if you really want to run Calm Mind, Stored Power, Fluttermane. You get Dark Pulse, which I know is basically the same coverage as Ghost, but it's there for things that resist Ghost type, like normal types, I guess. I don't know. You do not get any fighting coverage, and like I said, you don't get any ground type coverage. That's basically it. That's the only coverage that maybe you could need that you don't have, which means that you hit everything. All right, you even get Power Gem. Like, why does Fluttermane get Power Gem? For what? For why? And then on top of that, you get all these great supporting moves. Okay, you get Perish Song, you get Pain Split, you get Wish, you get Taunt, you get Trick Room, you get Imprison. So many like amazing support moves, and on top of all of that, right, you get Icy Wind, which means that essentially, unless you really need that one more speed to make the difference, okay, Fluttermane does Iron Bundle's job better than Iron Bundle does. All right, Iron Bundle's job was to be the new Regieleki for this generation. Iron Bundle was supposed to come in and be the Icy Wind king and just be like this amazing speed control while also hitting like a really good typing, because Ice type hits everything for weakness, and you get Freeze Dry, so you hit Water type Pokemon for weakness. But who cares? Who cares about Iron Bundle? Iron Bundle's got a chump special attack stack. Iron Bundle's only got 124 special attack. All right, Fluttermane's got 135. Why would we run Iron Bundle, who dies at any special attack because you can't EV at bulky because you have to run max speed Iron Bundle, when we can run Fluttermane, who has not a single wasted point? Okay? So Fluttermane is so good, and it gets Icy Wind, which means that it does Iron Bundle's job better than Iron Bundle does, and it does a million other Pokemon's job better than those Pokemon can do them. And you can see why Fluttermane is on basically every single team. It's on like, if we like look at the last regional results, okay? You look at top 8. There's Fluttermane on 6 of those teams. You look at, everybody who made day 2. There's Fluttermane on, like, what is the same percentage? There's Fluttermane on 80% of those teams. If we look at every team that got championship points, there's Fluttermane on like 75% of all of those teams. And yes, in recent events, Ogerpon, the water one, has started to like outclass Fluttermane. But that's not because Fluttermane is bad. All right, a good portion of those teams have Fluttermane and Ogerpon on them. They're on both of those teams. In fact, in the top 8, like I was saying, 6 of them have Fluttermane and 7 of them have Ogerpon. And I believe it is 6 of them have Water Ogerpon. One of them's Fire Ogerpon. But people aren't choosing to run Ogerpon over Fluttermane. They're just choosing to run Ogerpon more because it's so good. And maybe, Ogerpon needs its own rant, because it's also a very, very good Pokemon, but it doesn't feel as oppressive as Fluttermane does, because Fluttermane has been here since the beginning. Since the second ever format of Scarlet and Violet, Fluttermane has been here to drop Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleams on people and do absurd amounts of damage. Fluttermane has everything it needs. On top of everything that I've already mentioned, I haven't even talked about like Chi-Yu, or like how photosynthesis is activated by sun, which is easily like the second best weather condition, because sun and rain are always so good. To the fact where like you can even have photosynthesis and a choice specs, both modifying your special attack at the same time, which is insane. Fluttermane, it's here. There's a reason I made a song about it, okay? And it kind of makes me angry. Sometimes I wish that I could make a team that has a very small Flutter main weakness and play it and be okay. But you know what? That's not a thing. You can't do that because Flutter main is here all the time. And you have to think about it. And hopefully, the next time you're making a team, you'll think about me and my blood pressure that I just raised by screaming into a microphone for 20 minutes. And you'll put the Flutter main answer on your team, and you can like take all the satisfaction in the world knocking that Flutter main out. But let me know what you think. Does Flutter main make you mad? What Pokemon in the game right now makes you angry every time that you see it? Let me know. Maybe I'll do an angry rant about that Pokemon. But until next time, guys, my name is Andrew. I'll catch you guys next time. Flutter main, Flutter main, Flutter main, Flutter main, Flutter main, Flutter main, Flutter main. Making big reads in my Flutter brain. Eevee's giving me Flutter gains. Play it on rain, call it Flutter rain. Get what you run a Flutter train. Boss so smooth like a butter main. Flutter main, Flutter main, Flutter main. Flutter main, Flutter main, Flutter main, Flutter main, Flutter main, Flutter main, Flutter main. Making big reads in my Flutter brain. Eevee's giving me Flutter gains. Play it on rain, call it Flutter rain.